Ayuk right, they motion McCaffrey, backwards pass to McCaffrey, and he's going to throw downfield wide open. Brandon Ayuk, touchdown! San Francisco! He can run, he can catch,
is on fire!
Christian McCaffrey can throw! Now they go empty, and McCaffrey goes right. It is Garoppolo looking. Garoppolo under pressure, throws to the back of the end zone. Caught by Christian McCaffrey. Touchdown! CMC!
Dynamite!
One, just got it snapped in time. Inside handoff. McCaffrey finds a crack. Gets wide. 10, 5, 10. Oh, he got nailed on the goal line. Is he in? He's right on the goal line. What a run by Christian McCaffrey! They're going to give it to McCaffrey coming left. McCaffrey, touchdown!
Hey.
Breezie,
Mo's Nose, Season 3, Peachy, It's about that time, everybody turn your TVs on. The Mo's Nose, Peachy, Breezy, and Fair to God. They keep it nitty gritty when they bring you 9 to talk. We two gorilla, silverback, nah, silver.
You know it's busting the discussion cause we get it in. Every time you know we grinding, I was 8 to 10. We always play to win, the faithful going hard. It's Wayne, Breezy, Peachy, Mo's Nose, and Fair to God. Let's get it.
Nitty gritty, this the line is tall. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, this the line is tall. We outline players up in chalk. Nitty gritty, this the line is tall. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, this the line is tall. Line is tall. Nitty gritty, this the line is tall.
What's going on, everybody? The Nitty Gritty Niners Talk crew is here. We didn't get a chance to overreact to the game, so we here, right here, over the top, and we're going to overreact from what we got a chance to witness on last night. And I don't know how y'all watched the game. I know this wasn't televised. You had to figure out a way to watch it. If you had the NFL Plus app, I believe you was able to watch it on there. But if not, we're here. We're going to give you our overreactions. Mo's, Peachy, what's going on?
Yo.
What's going on?
So how's y'all feeling, man? Like the 49ers got to win, you know what I'm saying? Like what was your thoughts on the victory? So, you know, first thoughts that came to mind.
First of all, shout out to everybody in the chat right now who was in the chat last night during the watch party over on Mo's Nose. I appreciate everybody who came through. Got some good intel. I was able to kind of throw the game up there a little bit. And really the only like content things that came up was for the commercials that was on the stream that I was watching. So I think for next time I'll have a game up and then just minimize the content when the commercials is up and then just bring the game back on when the game come back on. But I thought it was a great performance all around. I thought we saw a different football team. Obviously the starters played. So when the starters played, we looked like the 49ers that we're accustomed to. I think there are still some issues, still some weaknesses that, you know, showed up on film again. But overall, I'm very pleased about what we saw from the team as a whole.
All right, Peachy, what were your thoughts, man? Niners squeaked out a win. It was tough, but they got that dub. What were your first reactions?
No, I was aggravated with the defense. I thought that the defense is what I felt like could have been much better than it was. I mean, even like the ones that were out there, I mean, Russ was still running all over everybody, just like he always does.
Right.
I saw some.
Russ was russing.
Yeah,
there's some context to that. I mean, Dre Greenlaw wasn't playing, and that was DFF out there. He got his ass knocked down.
Right. I saw some bad tackling. Like it was just, you know. So that's what I have to say about it. That's what I take away from it.
I agree with you.
We
The
pride
defense,
ourselves on the defense.
the defense was my biggest question mark. Or the whole game, game question mark the whole game. But you did see some big plays being made. Like I thought Jalen Graham was all over the field again.
Definitely.
Jair Brown. Shout out.
The green dot.
Yeah, wearing a green dot was a Mike linebacker. Shout out to Jair Brown for saving that tackle after
Yep.
Ambry
That
Thomas
was
got
nice. That was
juked.
nice.
Like, I mean, the wide wide receiver put a move on Ambry. It was like a stutter and go.
It was like, I think it was an out and up.
Yeah, it was. But I mean, look, it probably would have caught anybody. That wide receiver was quick, and
he was
he's
real
probably
fast.
the most efficient wide receiver on the Denver Broncos that night. But shout out to Jair Brown. He had that touchdown saving tackle.
Womack looked pretty good out there too.
Yeah, I thought the DBs looked good.
He had some good moments.
My biggest question mark on the defense though was the interior, yo. Like they keep letting these mofos run right up the middle. And you heard what was it, Tim Ryan, and you heard Papa, they talked about it. It's like there's gonna be a lot of teams that's gonna test the interior defense of the San Francisco 49ers. And Peachy, you said that, some of the starters out there, first game out there, they were looking a little suspect, giving up big yards on the ground. And so that's my issue. I feel like they got to figure that out because we did bring in Javon Hargrave, but is he going to be the anchor in the middle? Like, what's going on? Because we've seen him out there. So I'm curious to know how y'all feel about that because to me, that's the biggest question mark. Don't allow the rushing yards, force third and longs, and then you can seek the pass rush.
Yeah, I mean, I think you added some context there. Like, it was really their first game together. I think obviously the biggest elephant in the room is Nick Bosa's not on that defensive line, and we know he's going to command attention, whether it's run or pass. They're going to look to double him. They're going to look to chip him. So having Nick Bosa on that line, I think, frees up a lot of what the interior guys are going to be able to do. I think we brought in Javon Hargrave more for a rush up the middle, more of a pass rushing defensive tackle. We do know he can be stout in the run when he needs to be. And I think that's just going to take a little bit of time. Him coming into a new scheme with the way Chris Kosaric runs the line, with the way Steve Wilkes wants to call his defense. I think it's going to take a little bit of time to gel. They're going to have to, get some things figured out. But, I have no doubt that we'll be one of the best run defenses in the league yet again.
Okay, so Mose, I have a question just for you.
Okay.
Do you think that we can afford to start slow? Because I don't. And our defense, like, they make me a little nervous. And I just don't think that I'm just not sure that our offense is going to be able to carry this so that our defense doesn't have to be ready. Because when I watch them, and I know it's the first time that they play together and all that, the ones and all that stuff, but they still made me nervous. They really, really made me nervous. I mean, 3 weeks from now is week 1.
If I'm looking at our schedule, I would say I don't think we can afford to start slow. Cowboys game in week 5, that's not going to be an easy contest. The Vikings, while I'm not really concerned about their defense, we know offensively, if they get hot and they get into a rhythm, they can be dangerous. The Bengals, that's not going to be an easy game. The Jaguars play really, really well. And then I guess you could say our mini gauntlet is Seattle, Philadelphia, Seattle. We do have the Ravens on our schedule towards the end of the season. So in pockets of our schedule, it's not like we have an easy streak and a tough streak. It's kind of mixed all in between. So I would agree with you. I don't think we can afford to start slow based on our schedule. If we look around the NFC, our only legitimate competition is Philadelphia, Dallas, and Seattle. I'm not worried about anybody in either the NFC North or the NFC South.
Right.
So that would give me pause to say if we do start slow, while it would be unfortunate for us and we may have to be a wild card team, I do still think it's possible for us to win our division. And even if we don't, I think we're definitely going to be in a wild card situation just because the strength of our conference is not that strong.
Okay.
I thought the defense. I didn't think the defense started slow in this game. I mean, they held Russell Wilson to 3 points. They just gave up big plays. It's always gonna, when you're playing a quarterback like Russ, it's always bend but don't break. So he's going to make a Russ play. That's kind of like what he did. And on that one particular play, I mean, that one play where, I mean, if you watch the video game footage, it seemed like Russ was just dicing up the underneath because that's what the Niners were giving him. Well, guess what? In real life, they were doing the same thing. And then there was that one play, DFF just got knocked on his ass. And next thing you know, he takes off for that run, and it's just another extended drive. Yeah. But again, like Mo said earlier, this is without Nick Bosa out there. And you know that right there is going to change the dichotomy on how they're going to try to counterattack what the defense is doing, a.k.a. the rush. So I know that's a whole nother worry. We'll talk more about that tomorrow's episode. But, you know, Nick Bosa, it's unfortunate he's not out there. He probably wasn't going to play preseason anyway. But for me, it was good to see Fred Warner come out there and help set that tone. Mm-hmm. I mean, the energy was just on another level. So they looked different from the start. It wasn't Trey Lance setting the tone. It was Fred Warner, the guy that needs to set the tone before every game for all three phases of the team. That's just what Fred does. And again, we were out our other linebacker, Andre Greenlaw, but they got some serious, I feel like they got some serious stuff that they can go with these linebackers, man, because you look at Jalen Graham, D. Winters made a play, he forced a fumble. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yep. Like these, Marcelino McCrary Ball almost had an interception, right? Like, what in the hell is going on? The linebackers are tight, and we only probably going to keep 5,
right?
Or 4. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all pans out.
We only keep 4, not 5?
4 or 5, man. It's because they drafted 2 rookies that confuse me.
Yeah, I would hate if we kept 4.
It confuses me, but I felt like they did the tight ends, they did the linebackers the same way they did the tight ends. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they drafted 2 rookies, and you don't want to cut one of them, and then you gave guaranteed money to Marcelino McCrary Ball. So like, I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but
because does Oren Burks still make this team because of special teams?
I feel like Oren Burks
veteran shit.
So like. All right, let's talk about how this works, right? Because there were some injuries in this game. And Oren Burks was injured prior to the game. He got injured in the practice. They said he's going to be out for a few weeks, but he should be back week 1. If he's not, Oren Burks is going to have to make the roster, bro. Because if he doesn't make the roster, they're going to have to cut him. And if they cut him, they could possibly lose him. Are they okay with walking away from Oren Burks? He got guaranteed money. So I don't know if that's something that they would do, because if he don't make this roster and they designate him to like the IR, that's wasting the IR spot and he's done for the season. And I know that's not what they want to do. So we gotta be careful who we keep saying that the Niners are gonna designate to the IR before they even make the roster. They gotta make the roster first. Then you could put them on the IR. Then you could bring them back after 4 weeks or whatever that time frame is. But you only got a certain amount of times you could do that, and that bit us in the ass last year, bro. Remember, we put Elijah Mitchell on the IR. We took him off the IR. We brought him back. He ended up getting hurt, and we needed to have brought back big guy in the middle, defensive tackle, and from Philly. Can't think of his name.
Oh, Hassan Ridgeway?
We needed to have brought him back. But they thought that Mitchell was going to be good to go. So it's crazy.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I don't know if I would be okay with losing Jalen Graham or D. Winters.
I think that's why you cut a guy like DFF and possibly bring him back to the practice squad. I think he clears waiver. It's the game.
But then that's sick, because does Marcelino McCrary Ball make it too?
I don't know. I mean,
Greenlaw, Warner,
that's
Burks,
locks.
McCrary Ball,
Burks,
D. Winters, Jalen Graham. That's 6.
Right, but if it all depends. It all depends on how quick the Niners move. They cut. Let's say they keep Burks. They cut Ball. Who's gonna pick him up? Does he have a lot of film? Does he like that's the question.
Yeah.
So I feel like they might be taming him. You saw they started Graham. They went with Graham first over Ball. So maybe they're trying to tame his expectations, tame him down, because they're gonna have to make tough decisions. I never want to be a general manager for the San Francisco 49ers. I feel like it's the worst general management job out of all 32 teams. All 32 teams. All right, let's go ahead and recap this game, man. Let's start from the beginning because Peachy already talked about, the starters out there. Out of the starters, we're going to talk a little bit about Brock Purdy, but out of the starters, other than Brock Purdy, who flashed, who showed a sense of that, like they're back on the offense and the defense. Mose, you give me defense. Peachy, you give me offense. Come on, this shouldn't be that difficult.
Oh, no, I'm ready. I thought Mose was.
Go ahead,
was
Peachy.
gonna go.
You get the offense.
Debo.
Yeah, yo.
Debo's back.
Listen.
Debo is really, really, really bad.
Listen to the words.
Listen, Linda.
that are coming out of my mouth. Yo, I don't know who pissed Debo Samuel off, but thank you. Himself. Him did. Listen, thank you.
Down,
listen, whatever. All I know is we got him. Yo, he looked quicker. He looked stronger. He looked faster.
Mm-hmm.
And he doing the same damn things he was doing. And they knew he was going to do that. And they couldn't stop him. That, to me, is a wild card piece. If he can remain healthy, the 49ers are going to have some stuff. Mm-hmm. And if you guys are into fantasy football, you got to watch What's Your Fantasy. Debo, don't let him fall down on the ranks because I think the Niners are going to use him more than they will other than CMC. I think those are the two pieces. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yep.
Let's go with the defense, Mose. Who you got on the defense? Good pick, Peachy.
Yeah, that was a great pick. You gave Peachy the easy one. Defensively, of the starters.
Let's see who they put in the chat without you looking in the chat.
Yeah, I'm looking up. I'm not looking at the chat right now.
Good. Keep looking up.
I'm gonna go with Mooney.
Okay.
And here's why I'm gonna go with Mooney. In limited snaps, I don't think he got targeted much. He was out there against the one, so Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, and we've heard some conflicting reports from camp that he's been getting beat, that it doesn't seem like he's the same Mooney from last year. Whether his head was in the game, I don't think some minor.
He did get injured last year, remember?
Yes. Yeah. So some minor injuries, whether it mental, whatever it is, that Mooney just didn't look great in camp. So I wanted to see him actually on the field in the game, something that really matters a little bit more. I know Kyle Shanahan said he loves practice and joint practices and things of that nature, but I wanted to see Mooney on the field and with very little pass rush, I think he did what he was supposed to do as a number one outside corner. So it's kind of good to see Mooney back, see him healthy, and kind of, get him going again. So I'm going to go with Mooney.
I like those two picks, man. Like two veteran starters that kind of had down years last year. I felt like Mooney, once he got injured, he kind of fell off like by the wayside a little bit, but he kept, he kept pushing to stay strong. Definitely still, like I would say, a premier press lockdown type of guy. You throw him the ball, he's going to do his best to make sure that pass doesn't get completed. Not an interception guy, big difference, but definitely a PBU guy. That's more important in my opinion. Get them PBUs, make sure that play doesn't extend. So those are really two good pieces. Let's talk about Brock Purdy, because Brock Purdy started the game, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. I thought he looked fucking amazing. Like I was like
sensational.
Wow. He had a bad throw.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But when you go 4 for 5, I mean, he is with the one. So let's put that context out there. But and missing Trent Williams too. So Trent Williams was the only non-starter from the offense. All right. So let's just make that clear. 4 for 5, 65 yards, resulted in 3 points. All right. He ended up getting sacked down there at that goal line. That's what ended up happening.
I got it.
Go ahead, Peachy.
I just wanted to add one thing though. Brock Purdy was sensational and he was great, but he could have got a touchdown on that drive. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, he read the wrong. I felt like he read the wrong route. I mean, he read the wrong throw. Read, excuse me. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, he definitely read the wrong read on that one. But
he could have had a touchdown, but he didn't. But I still thought, that's something he's gonna have to see when he watches the film and breaks down the film. But let's talk about how good this is to have Brock Purdy looking ready to go
like
against
that?
starting defenses.
Yeah.
What did you see from Brock though? It was I saw a lot of dinky dunks and easy throws and things like that. But what were your thoughts on Brock?
I think agree. We saw a lot of dink and dunk, a lot of easy throws, but that's to get him comfortable with the game. That's to kind of get him into a rhythm. Once it just like basketball, you see a couple of layups and a couple of free throws go
before you take them 3 points
up. Exactly.
Because I'm not to cut you off. John V's my brother. Our brother says he wasn't doing anything that made me say, "Oh my gosh." He never really does. He's just highly efficient, and he'll make that one wild play. There were no times for him to make a wild play. He ended up getting sacked.
Yeah,
but the fact that his efficiency was back, I think that's what we're most concerned about. Can he make those quick reads? Can he get the ball out of his hands quick? Can he continue to be accurate on those throws? I don't give a who played quarterback. There was pressure. The offensive lines were struggling from the first, second, and the third team. So
and I wanted to see him take those hits too.
Yes.
I wanted to see him get pressured. I wanted to see him take some hits, take some shots, and see how he bounced back. And of course, in true Brock fashion, he's a gamer. Not too many things rattle him. So he got popped a few times, bounced right back up, got in the huddle, called the next play, and like you said, was very efficient. So,
which is what we need.
Yeah, and I wasn't expecting to see This is preseason. Playbook is very vanilla, and he was only going to get 1 to 2 series depending on how things went. So you really start to see wild plays as the game progresses,
right?
As a quarterback and an offense gets into rhythm,
definitely. As
Kyle gets into rhythm, once he starts seeing some things on the pitchers that he gets on the sidelines, and he's starting to set the defenses up with his initial script. Then you start to see some of those wild plays as the game goes on. So I wasn't expecting to see wild plays, but what I saw was, like Breezie mentioned, an efficient quarterback who can move this offense. And when the offense is moving as efficiently as it is, it puts pressure on the opposing defense and it puts pressure on the opposing offense. Now they have to match our energy. They have to move the ball. They have to sustain drives. And when that opposing team is pushing and pressing to kind of match us, there's not too many teams in the league that can match us. Maybe the Chiefs, maybe Philadelphia. Outside of that, there aren't too many offenses that can match our offensive production. So to see him come out and do that, that was very promising.
Let's recap that, Peachy. I don't know if you want to add, but I want to recap that because if I'm not mistaken, he had a 10-play drive, and even Kyle Shanahan spoke about it. He wasn't expecting it to be a 10-play drive,
right?
You know what I'm saying? But listen, that to me is showing durability, sustainability, whatever you need from Brock to keep the play going. Unfortunately, like I said, that one set, there's always one little mistake that can cause something to get out of rhythm. But it didn't hurt the team too much because they were still able to put up points. And I think at the end of the day, the team with the most points wins. I think that's how it works. So I really liked what I saw from Brock. I don't care which I say. It was dink and dunk. You can call it whatever the fuck you want, but I'm going to call it dink and dunk, screen, easy plays. But those plays are set for a purpose. They're set to get your offense going. They're set to get the rhythm. Find the weakness in the defense and attack. So if it takes short throws, look, I'm the king of wanting the play to develop, but always have a check down. Always. And if you're running screens, then we watch the Patriots do that shit for like umpteen years.
Yes, I was fixing to say
and ain't nobody cry about it. Guess what we're trying to do? Put that screen ability in Kyle Shanahan's offense, and it looked really good. Go ahead, Peachy.
I was just gonna say, while people have a problem with dink and ducks, I mean, Kyle's saying short throws. That's the same thing.
Yeah,
it's just another way of saying it. It's still short throws. That's still what it is. And even the head coach was talking about the short throws and that he just wanted him to get comfortable to, just get back out there and throw the ball around a little bit. And that's what he did with short throws. So, I mean, if Kyle can say that, come on now. I mean, it's not y'all want to talk about everybody else being real sensitive. Y'all being kind of sensitive right now.
I just don't want
this is over the top. And so
but I don't get, like, if we call it like we see it, like, I don't understand what's the problem. I mean, we didn't say he had a bunch of bad throws.
Right, but because dink and dunk has a negative connotation.
But why?
I don't know, because most of the quarterbacks who aren't good dink and dunk, and
but
their
Mose,
dink and dunk
aren't we a yak
successful.
team?
We are yak.
So how do you get yak, Mose?
We have a unit.
So how do you get yak, Mose?
I'm just letting you know. I'm
I
just
know,
trying
but
to get
now I'm asking
process.
the question. Peachy got to ask you a question. I'm asking you a question. How do you get yak?
Well, you have to get the ball into your playmakers' hands and allow them to gain extra yards. So throwing the ball 90 yards downfield doesn't get them a lot of yak.
Right.
I was just curious though how yak was
just getting the ball to them in space and allowing them to create.
Tom Brady is the king of dink and dunk. Like, he literally created that, to be honest.
He's going into the Hall of Fame.
Yes, he's going into
for
the
dink
Hall
and
of Fame
dunk
because of that.
Don't fake the funk on the dink and dunk.
And dink and dunk opens up the long throws downfield.
Exactly.
You want to get the defense to kind of creep in a little bit. You want to get the defense to, play closer to the line of scrimmage to kind of prepare for, Christian McCaffrey might get this swing pass out of the backfield. Demo Samuel might get this wide receiver screen. They might even throw a screen to George Kittle. So we need to be closer to the line of scrimmage so that we can help get to the ball and flow to the ball quicker. But once that happens, over the top, Brandon Ayuk, bye-bye.
Listen, I would say I would say Debo had a better game than Brandon Ayuk, but it is what it is. He was single cover, he was double cover.
I think the game plan was called for Debo to kind of get him in more rhythm.
To get him into rhythm, yes.
BA been killing everybody in practice. Kyle's seen enough.
He was just dressed.
Kyle is ready for the season because what he's going to unleash with BA is going to be insane. What he's going to unleash with BA come season time, when he's in the real playbook and not this vanilla base stuff, is going to be insane. I think that was just to get Debo into a rhythm, kind of get Debo to feel what it's like to get the ball in his hands, get his feet in the ground, make some cuts, lower his shoulder.
He's a unicorn, like somebody said earlier.
Facts.
Can I raise you the three starting receivers? Can we talk about Jawan Jennings for a second? Because I feel like Jawan Jennings, I know you don't like Jawan Jennings as much as you like the other wide receivers. Let me make sure I put that out there.
Okay, yeah, say that.
But I feel like the dude's stock is rising.
Bro, I listen, I told y'all before, and I have no shame saying it. JJ got my respect.
Okay.
Because how he's playing recently, bro. I mean, you cannot deny this. Jawan Jennings gets open. And what he does that is not counted on the stat sheet is he plays with so much intensity.
JJ
is a dog.
Dogness.
JJ is a dog. He's in a DB's face. He's ready to block somebody and put them on their back. Like, I've never questioned his ability to play the game. I just have an issue with drop passes. And he was my target for drop pass. But how JJ's playing lately, listen.
Right.
It's weird because I felt like he had a slow camp. I felt like he didn't, but it was because he was the man. Like he came out and spoke in his presser, and it felt like he made it. He went from 7th round pick to like that starting unit, like with the Niners when they bring out 3 wideouts. And the reason why you'll see him in the slot over Ray or whoever it is that they'll put in there is because his ability to get open. His size matters, and the fact that he's always a mismatch, that's why those 3rd and Jawans was happening. But last night, I was seeing second in Juwan's.
Yes.
I saw a couple third of Juwan. Like the dude is a 49er, like, right? And here's the kicker. He's supposed to be a free agent next year. So let that sink in for a second. That's 3 wide receivers the Niners are going to have as free agents next year. Juwan Jennings, Ray McCloud, and Brandon Ayuk. Woo! I told you to watch the wide receiver room because we didn't even get to the best wide receiver in the damn game yet. In the game. Let's keep recap. Let's talk about this offense. Let's talk about my boy, Ronnie Bell from Michigan, the underdog. Cats ruled him out. 7th round draft pick. I was talking shit. Let's talk about Ronnie Bell because I told y'all from day one he was making this roster. And it don't take no goddamn injury for him to make this roster.
He's a 49er. So let's just call him a 49er.
Calm down.
Listen, first of all, don't tell me what to fucking call him. Because if this was your Ohio State player, you would be talking about the Ohio State. I'm going to say he is from Michigan. Go Blue. Everybody was talking shit because I was picking the Michigan guy, and I kept telling you he could get open. And everybody told me he couldn't because you said he was slow. I ain't talking to you, and I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to you, all 200 people in this chat.
Okay. Breezie got that out. I was gonna say I didn't want to go too far ahead, so I'm glad you brought it up. We have a good problem in the receiver room.
Oh, yes, we
obviously, I think we're keeping Brandon Ayuk. We're gonna figure out a way to get him paid. We're gonna keep Brandon Ayuk. So that means, are we able to keep Juwan Jennings and Ray McCloud? I don't think we're able to keep both. Maybe we could bring back one. Ronnie Bell, though, with the way that he has played. Again, Ronnie Bell, I said it last night during the watch party. Ronnie Bell is what we thought we were getting in Dante Pettis. Dante Pettis didn't have the dog in him. Ronnie Bell got the dog in him. And what excites me about Ronnie Bell is when he gets the ball in his hands, he is not looking to go down after first contact. You got to work to bring him to the ground. And he's not a big wide receiver. He's not a stocky, bulky receiver like Deebo Samuel. He's not big and tall and strong like Juwan Jennings, but he has such a tenacious attitude that you're not going to bring him down on first contact. And if you do, you worked really hard and used really good technique to get him to the ground.
Did you see that one player that he brought to the ground?
You mean the stiff arm?
Yeah.
That's the hard ball.
So awesome.
That's the hard ball stiff arm right there. I'm just gonna let y'all know, act like y'all know who hardball is.
Now I will say this.
He do got some stuff he got to work on for sure.
Okay, all right.
Let's talk about the Sam Darnold throw. Let's talk about
now. Wait a minute,
because you could hit him. Hit me with it, baby. Hit me with it.
Way I'm gonna talk about Jennings. We got 2 passes that went through his hands.
I don't know about this one. This one was no.
It hit him in the face, man.
It didn't go through his hand. It went through his hand. I thought the ball was a little elevated to where he was only able to get a hand on it.
It hit him in the face. If it hit him in the face,
that don't mean he went like this. He probably was trying to go like this, and he couldn't palm it. He got small hands. Hey, I'm not.
So we'll go up with one. We going
to watch the all-22. We're going to look at it. We're going to look at the all-22. But you're right. He got to catch the ball. I said that last week.
Yeah, that's
you can't miss the gimmies.
That was 2 that was targeted.
That one was a laser from Sam Darnold. Like I was like, it looked like he wasn't even expecting it that hard.
Pause. Whoa. Breezie caught himself on that one.
Nice hat, by the way, Breezie.
Usually Breezie don't catch himself. He caught himself on that one. But yes, I don't think he was expecting a rocket on that play.
It was rocket, bro.
And I will say that Sam Darnold threw that pass just a smidge too hard. Like he put too much on that one.
It was a beautiful pass.
It was a beautiful pass. It didn't need to be 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
Like two passes I wish we could get back in that game. You ready? That's the first one. And the Trey Lance screen is the second one.
You know what? I'm cool with that. Here's why.
I know you're going. Last
week he threw the touchdown that should have been picked off. Sometimes the ball bounce your way, and sometimes the ball don't bounce your way. That's just how life is. So more animated about missing guys.
I'm just gonna sit back and let them roll.
All I know is if this was talk about Justin Fields, Peachy she get tight. Why? Somebody mentioned Justin. He not even with the Niners. Keep going. She big up all her Ohio. Chris Olave.
What if we
Michael
say something
Tom.
about C.J. Stroud?
What about C.J. Stroud?
Because he don't look too hot in Houston right now.
That's another episode. Let's listen.
Look at Peachy not saying she trying so hard.
She trying to keep it quiet. Don't be quiet now. Nah, son, I'm telling you like it is. Nah, but seriously though, like I'm just overreacting to what I saw because you got Ronnie Bell on several phases, right? And so like him on the offense, it's like, damn, you don't skip a beat. He can line up in the slot. He can line up outside. He can line up in the backfield.
Yes.
Like he ran the ball again successfully. Like this is crazy because we're worried. Oh, Deebo Samuel. Kyle was like, I tell you what, I know y'all hip to Deebo game. I'm gonna bring in somebody different. And remember, he did this with Ray too. So don't act like we didn't see Ray line up in the backfield. He had a reverse for a touchdown. But like if you think about what Kyle Shanahan is trying to do, he's creating these crazy mismatches. And all Ronnie Bell got to keep doing, and like Peachy says, he's a 49er, all he has to keep doing is continue stacking. He does so well that them stupid, messed up mistakes, like it overcompensates for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he got to catch the ball. He's got to see the ball in the midst. He's got to, because that's going to keep his longevity in this offense and keep first downs going. But here's the thing that I liked about Sam Darnold. I bet you he went back to him. I bet you after that interception on the next drive, guess who he went to? Ronnie Bell.
He did, and Tim Ryan called it out. He was like glad they went back to Ronnie Bell because he was having such a good game before that.
Yes.
And then, to be able to go back to him, we all know that paid dividends later in the game.
Just a quick question for both of you. And do you think this matters? Ronnie Bell sees passes from all the quarterbacks except for probably Brock Purdy. So do you think the timing and stuff like that it causes him to miss those types? He has pretty sure hands. The only time he'll drop a pass if literally he's like in traffic between guys, like, and they crunch him in the ball like that. That's the only time I really see him drop, other than the 2 interceptions he's given up. But do you think that messes up his chemistry? The fact that he sees Sam Darnold, Brandon Allen, and Trey Lance.
I mean,
it's like three different jug machines.
I see where you're going with that. There's 3 different quarterbacks, 3 different, arm angles, 3 different velocities. But I think in this offense, why he's, succeeding is 1, his ability to get open. And then 2, this is a timing and a rhythm-based offense.
Amen.
So, as long as he's getting open and getting to his spot and the quarterback puts the ball where it's supposed to be, I don't think he'll have any issues once we get to the regular season. And then as he starts to practice with Brock more often, because we're in the regular season and, the first string quarterback is getting all of the reps in practice, once Ronnie Bell gets a few snaps in there to kind of work with Brock Purdy, I think, in very short order, they'll find some chemistry together.
All right. PG, did you want to add anything different or anything to what Mo said?
No, the only thing that I was going to say is that it was a joy, like watching, like when people ask questions about Bell, the way Kyle looks, you can tell that he really does like that kid, regardless of his mistakes or whatever. Kyle's like, the only way he's gonna get better is with more reps and blah blah blah, and I'll seem like this, but you can just tell that he really likes him.
Kyle said that.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Well, I wonder. Okay, so the theory is the more reps you get
with Bell,
period, the better you should get on the football field. I wonder if Kyle applies that principle to everybody on the team, because now I want to talk about Trey Lance. We talked about Sam Darnold. He looked good. We talked about Brock Purdy. He looked amazing in his first start out there. Let's talk about Trey Lance for a second, right? Let's talk about Lance, because I felt this is probably the best I've seen Lance play.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
In his NFL career, and I know this was a preseason game, But let me just make this disclaimer for everybody that's telling me he was with the 3rd or 4th unit. If he did what he did with the 3rd or 4th unit, I want y'all to stop, calm down, and just think what he could do with the 1st unit. I will remind y'all that when Trey Lance was taking the first team reps out there, he was dynamite.
Yep.
It's when Brock Purdy started to be back there and he get the 2 days, and then that's when Trey Lance started flaring up. That's why I asked you about timing. I asked you about rapport with these receivers. Does that make a difference? And I really think it does. But let's talk about Trey Lance game. We talking what? 12 for 18, 173 yards, a touchdown, 2 Cameron Latou, and an interception. Screen pass. Most I wasn't as mad as you think I am. What I said was, I bet you if he had that pass back, he might have jumped. He might have floated it a little bit better. But the damn offensive line got blown up. It's like the defense knew it was a screen and they blew it up. They was So that's another conversation. Let's talk about Trey Lance. Peachy, you go first on your boy Trey, because he was Trigger Trey.
He was Trigger Trey.
Trig.
Right
We can call him Trig.
Trig.
Shout out to the Shy.
Right here was really important. They had a starter that was out there.
No, John V. They had 2 starters that were out there.
Right, there was another one, wasn't there?
Randy Gregory also was out there in the 4th quarter. So they could talk all that trash about him being with his 3rd or 4th unit. We talk about Trey Lance. That's my point. But he was going against starting pass rushers. Go ahead, Peachy. You got it. I'm sorry.
All right.
Just wanted to correct that.
Oh, no, that's fine. Okay, so the first thing that I noticed was, hey, Vicky, how more accurate he was, even with this O-line breaking down, because this O-line was still really bad. He had to do some running, and he had to do some improvising, and he had to do his 1-2s out there, and he had to get it down the field. It wasn't like it was easy for him to do that. I felt like his awareness was so much better last night. Like, he was aware of everything that was going on around him. I thought that was great.
Get all the ding dings.
I was more impressed.
Whoa! Breezie!
It's the overreaction show, brother. Listen, she's speaking. I just wanted to keep the bells going. Go ahead, Peachy. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Okay, so
Now I got a cramp in my abdomen. God damn.
Is it your adductor? Is your
Yes. I got an adductor string.
That's your adductor string.
Wait, is it adductor or abductor? Because apparently there's a difference.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, there's 2 of them.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Peachy. I'm sorry.
Okay. The one thing that impressed me so much was his short passes, his dinks and dunks. Because that is what everybody wanted to see. They wanted to see him take some of the mustard off the ball and practice being more accurate and throwing these short darts. My favorite one, the one to Willie Snead. Oh,
yes.
my.
No. That was a
God.
dart.
Woo.
That was you guys play darts?
Woo,
That was a dart.
Woo, man.
Like that. Y'all wasn't nervous about that one? That was a dart. But you know what, Mose? You said this last week. You said that you like that Trey Lance is taking a chance at fitting the ball in tight windows. And that's what we need from these quarterbacks, right? We need to see that the quarterbacks are willing to risk a mistake because they feel they are confident enough to fit it in there. And then they go back and learn from it.
Hence the title of the show, Let It Rip. Trey's just out there dicing that ball up, going around and whatever, not caring if it might be picked, if it might be this, if it might be that. Like, none of that mattered. The only thing that mattered was that he got the ball out. And he got it out quick because he was just out there just, whatever happens, happens. And he looked amazing doing it too. So I was very, very impressed with him. Like I said, my favorite one was the Snead one because I was like, oh my God.
Let's go through favorite throws. Thank you, Peachy, for that. I'm gonna go before Mo because I don't want him to steal mine. My favorite throw was the under pressure run into the right on the run and threw a dart to where only Tay Martin can catch it with the toe tap swag, toe trap, whatever you want to call that junk.
Yes.
I said Trey Lance can make those. That's Trey Lance now. Okay, that to me, family, is showing signs of progression. I kept telling everybody last week it wasn't that he didn't get it. Him understanding the playbook isn't the issue. It's just him actually performing. Like, you know what I mean? Getting the jitters out.
Yes.
Like, and that's why I always I never understood Kyle Shanahan, especially in a real game. I kind of understand his processing in the preseason game because you want your players to work on where they're weak. But in a regular game, you better make sure that this kid is confident and gets into a rhythm early, because the more he gets into the rhythm, the more cocky he plays. The more cocky he plays, the better he plays. Trey Lance took off on a run. He had a big gain on a run. It got negated from a hold, but y'all told me Trey Lance can't get to the outside. Where y'all at now? He did it twice in this game. He beat the defensive ends not once, but twice for first downs. They both got negated by penalties. So talk that talk now. Trey Lance, it's not that he don't got the speed. He just overthinks, and then he overplays, and then he makes the mistakes. He almost had a couple of interceptions in this game. He had a couple of joints that was dropped. But again, it was pressure in his face. He throws off the back foot. He's trying to get the ball away, and unfortunately, it don't go out of bounds. It goes like to a defender where they had to bat it down. So that was my favorite throw. Mose, you want to elaborate a little bit on Trey Lance? You got a favorite throw by him as well?
My favorite throw was the one on that last drive to Ronnie Bell. Because somebody in the watch party said it looks like his new mechanics have stuck. And I think when the touchdown drive and then the game winning drive, when you saw him start to string completion after completion after completion in a row, that's part of the mechanics. He's starting to feel good. I feel like in that short window, he kind of had a mental flashback to his training with Jeff Christensen and just remembering feeling good one after another. So for him to be able to hit that strike deep over the middle, but also put the ball where Ronnie Bell could catch it and turn upfield and get that yak, I thought it was an absolutely dynamite throw.
Is that the play where Trey had to stay in the pocket for it to develop to make the throw, and he didn't flinch?
Nope.
I want us to show. I want us to give him the praise for his signs of progression, because we badmouthed him, we criticized him because he looked indecisive. Well, he didn't look too indecisive this week, and if you're gonna say he looked indecisive, it was because of pressure, because all the quarterbacks were indecisive. Oh, let me put this fact out there since nobody wanted to state this. Trey Lance was the only quarterback not sacked. Let that sink in again. I give myself the. I'm not gonna say the word. So I wasn't gonna say that word. No, I wasn't, for sure. But listen, I'm telling you, like, and Peachy, you're frustrated with the national media. I bet, Peachy, let's make a bet. Friendly bet. How much positive attention will Trey Lance get this week?
Well, so far, ESPN is like basically lying, and not even.
What you mean?
Yeah. They were talking about how, that he's not, I forgot how it went. It was like something like he's on improving. He didn't do this. He didn't do whatever. And I'm like, but here's the coolest thing about ESPN doing that. I saw people that are complete 100 Brock supporters that were defending Trey Lance, because they're like, dude, even no matter what you think or whatever, you can't say that he had like a bad game and all this stuff. But ESPN was saying like some harsh stuff. Now, NFL Network wasn't, but I just noticed that they were. They are trash. You're absolutely right. Throwback.
So my theory is the first negative. They won't focus on the positive stuff.
Exactly.
They're gonna focus on the almost interceptions. How he still looks indecisive when he has 3-4 guys running in his face. They'll find a way to turn that into the narrative that he's not progressing. Again, you see his stats, 12 for 18. He came in at the very end of the third quarter, played the whole fourth quarter, right? He did that in 1 quarter. Just imagine what he would have did in 4 quarters.
Yeah. Just imagine what he would have done with the ones, just like we were talking about a while ago. I actually put out a tweet about that, and then I put the little Kermit the Frog thing and said, but that's none of my business, because if he looks like that, I mean, just imagine how he would have looked out there with a decent O-line. With that quickness and everything going on.
All right. So people feel like I don't criticize Trey Lance.
Okay.
Well, not people. Judd Shuddy. He says, we criticize him. I don't remember you doing it, though.
That's actually not true.
Okay. So last week, I focused on his sacks last week.
Yes.
We did shows because I wanted to see how indecisive he was, how much did he dance around in the pocket, and how many of those sacks were actually his fault. And according to our head coach, 2 of them were his fault and 2 of them weren't. So we did an exercise last Monday's episode. Go watch it, where we watched the sacks. And Mose and I and Peachy, we came to the conclusion that 3 of them were the offensive line fault. 1 was his fault. So I criticize him on a lot. Like, I want Trey to be great, so I'm going to criticize him. But my issue is not the criticism. It's the negative reporting that I have a problem with, because why do you keep trying to push this man down? If he does well, why don't you lift him up? That's my problem. He's a San Francisco 49er, and all we want to do is drag him in the dirt. Why don't we build him up he play, especially after a well-played game? Mind you, Trey Lance won this game.
Yeah.
Let that sink in. So we're just, as a fan base, I'm trying to get us to understand, man, this is not about putting our guys down. You can constructively criticize a guy, but don't tear him down because he's still a member of this team.
Exactly. And it was the thing that probably was the craziest is the fact that we know who quarterback 1 is, and the fact that you can't, like, that people can't even see that he's quarterback 2. And Kyle almost done that. The reason why, because people are like, oh, well, Sam, Kyle wanted to see Sam do all this stuff. Okay, but all they did was flip. They flipped, because last week Trey was out there more than Sam. And this week Sam was out there more than Trey. And actually, Sam was supposed to be out there more than that, but Kyle didn't realize that Brock's drive was going to go as long as it did, and that Denver was going to be out there, as long as they were. So he wanted, Brock to get some more stuff in before Sam came out there. So, but the whole thing is that you guys have got to understand that we criticize all the quarterbacks. We criticize all the players, actually. I have favorite players. I criticize them all the time. We want them to be great so that we can win a Super Bowl. That's all we want to do. So we want the best out there. Breezie not only criticized Trey on Monday's show, but he criticized Trey on the show that we did for our first Over the Top that we did. He criticized him on there. So I don't know, but you need to watch more of our shows, and while you're at it,
he does. He said he did.
I wasn't subscribe to it. That'd be awesome.
Judd, it seemed like you was coming at me, so you know how he is. It's all love. It's a family show, a couple of cuss words, but you know how it is. Like, it's just love. It's nothing then, and I hope we get a chance to meet. He says he watched it. I agree, but reporting about reporting, chill out, man. They're laughing emojis. You have to admit you're light on Trey. Trey's my guy. He's always going to be my guy. I can't make the 49ers play the kid. But if I see him progressing, I'm going to make sure I shed light on it. Like, just if I see he needs something to work on, I'm going to be like, Trey still got to work on this. He's still... Last week, I could tell you how bad I was on Trey, because I did not understand that for Trey Lance, the same principles had to apply as it did the other quarterbacks in this offense. And that's why today's title is called Let It Rip. And so, like, remember last week I kept saying, why don't Kyle just, like, do different stuff with Trey? That's not what he wants Trey to do. He needs Trey to read, react, and throw that ball quick on the first read. That's what we saw this week. And that's why I said Trey is letting it rip. Like, you know what I mean? And I love it. I love it 100%. So, Judd, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for being a supporter for this long. All right. Look, overall, I thought the offense played fair. Let's talk about the defense. All right. Let's talk about the defense. Defense gave up some points, but I thought they overall looked well. They had 2 sacks, if I'm not mistaken, right? 2 sacks, one from McGill, one from Bryant, or was it 2 from Bryant? Because there's some dope stuff. You're getting stuff from guys that we weren't expecting. So I want to know how you feel about this.
Sack from Marlon Davidson.
That was the kid.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts about that? Let's talk about this defense. They're getting pressure. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, even with a new defensive coordinator, this team still has an issue with mobile quarterbacks that we saw. Yes, Nick Bosa wasn't playing. Yes, Drake Greenlaw wasn't playing. But with the way we run our defense, we don't typically, have a spy up for mobile quarterbacks. And, when we get into, those press man situations, that leaves running lanes open and susceptible for us to get beat on. So I think that's something that we need to look into and clean up. Now, thankfully, looking at our schedule, we don't have too many of those guys that we have to worry about. Obviously, we have Kyler Murray twice, Geno Smith twice.
If Kyler Murray plays,
if he even plays, we have Jalen Hurts, we have Lamar Jackson. But outside of that, not too many guys that we have to worry about being extremely mobile. Maybe you could throw Daniel Jones on that list.
I was going to say we got Danny Dimes in there too.
So
we know what he can do.
So I think that is definitely something that we need to clean up. I don't think a team can just outright beat us running that scheme, but that'll at least keep them in the game and open some other things up. If we're not on our keys, we can get beat. If we're too susceptible to that. Other than that, I like the way that the defense swarmed this week. Attacking the ball. I love the play from just picking out individual guys. Quantrez Knight was a missile. Taylor Hawkins played great. Jair Brown, we talked about his game-saving tackle. I love how D. Winters played. Jalen Graham, we're in the green dot. I love how he played. Diamador Lenore looked good in the slot. The rotation on that defensive front. I liked what I saw from T.Y. McGill. I think he makes this team. I like what I saw from Kevin Givens. I like what I saw from Marlon Davidson. Not every one of these guys is going to make this team. But I liked what I saw as far as rotational basis. Austin Bryant looked pretty good. I think he did get caught for one offsides just because he was so eager to get in the backfield and he had that quick jump. But he looked good off the edge. Cleveland Farrell looked decent. So I think we have good problems on this team as far as depth on the defensive side of the ball. So it was just a good game to watch those guys kind of get out there and run around a little bit.
I thought the depth looked a lot better than they did the first preseason game. Like they just had their, I don't know what was wrong with them last week, but this week I felt like the depth showed up. They kept the game relatively close. I will say this, the defense technically didn't give up 20 points. I mean, I know that they scored 20 points, but there was some misfortunate, some turnovers. And if you ask me anything, that's what the Niners got to figure out how to correct, like the turnovers. They had 2 interceptions and a fumble that was lost on special teams. And so, like, that helped the Denver Broncos score relatively quickly. I gave them 14 points. They got 14 points off of the turnovers, if I'm not mistaken. So that, like, we got to find a way to correct those little things. And I'm glad that they're getting it out now in preseason, you know what I'm saying, so that they can understand it. I thought Ambry Thomas looked good, minus that one play. I mean, he had a great PBU, and then he gave up that big play, which Jair Brown saved. I will say that's what safeties get paid to do. That's why they call safeties. And so shout out to Jair Brown for taking on his role, chasing him down, getting him down, and getting them to run the clock out. So it gave them 0 points. So technically, Ambry Thomas's play gave up 0 points, but it did give up a lot of yards. Again, bend don't break. So we talk about all the time. Look, Peachy, who stood out to you on the defense? I didn't see Robert Bill out there yesterday. I'm not sure if he even dressed yesterday.
I think that's what he was asking you, like, where is he?
Robert Bill's coming. Oh, I'm sorry, Luke Ledon. He's coming back from an injury, so they expect him to have him back this week, according to Kyle Shanahan. As long as, I think George Kittle will be back this week, Drake Greenlaw this week, so they're gonna, Elijah Mitchell. So they're going to get some players back this particular week. So I think Robert Bill Jr. is going to be one of them. I still don't remember what his injury was. I thought it was undisclosed. I'm not sure what it is. But yeah, let's talk about Oliver though, who's having a tough preseason. Looked really good in camp, but he's struggling. He's missing tackles, Mose. I think that's more on the run in the run game. I think that's more Peachy. You talked about missed tackle. It was this dude.
Yes.
He missed a tackle, and it gave up mad yards.
Yeah, it was a bunch of yards.
Let's talk about Isaiah Oliver, man. Like, how does he make this roster, dog?
I don't know. It's not looking good for him, that's for sure.
Yeah, it really isn't. And if we're talking about moving Diamador Lenore inside, which means we have a void on the outside, which who's going to fill that outside void? Is it going to be
Womack or
Thomas? Is it going to be Samuel Womack? Even the broadcast last night mentioned that, AJ Parker may be in the running for that outside spot.
Oh, for outside? They had him in the slot last week. He played really well in the slot.
Right. So, they're trying to figure out who are their best three. We know it's Demo. We know it's Mooney. Who is that third guy? Is it AJ Parker? Is it Womack? Is it Ambry Thomas? I'm
trying to figure out what is he not. I mean, we didn't watch the all 22 yet. So what is he not seeing on the field? Like is he overcompensating? Is he overplaying?
That's a really good question. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I thought that he had been in Steve Wilkes' system before. Maybe he wasn't. But Steve Wilkes, at least like the player
Hartsfield
from afar.
Yeah,
Miles Hartsfield was. So I know he liked the player from afar. Maybe what he remembered from, evaluations during the draft. Maybe Isaiah Oliver was a player that he was looking for and he thought might be a good fit for his scheme. Now that he's actually in it, maybe he's coming to the fruition that, okay, maybe this may not be a good scheme fit for the type of player that Isaiah Oliver is. It's not like he has to carry everything. It's not like we're expecting him to be Rod Woodson or Charles Woodson or Deion Sanders or Ed Reed. So, I think we have a defense that is, star-studded, plays really well. Everybody flows to the football. So all he really has to be responsible for is his assignment, and why he's been unable to do that at a high level consistently yet. It is a little bit worrisome. So I definitely want to see, how he plays next week. But I don't know if his opportunities diminish for the team to kind of evaluate some other players to make some really, really tough decisions for that 53-man roster.
Mm-hmm.
All right, check it out. We got 2 more segments before we get out of here because we have a nitty-gritty Niners talk draft to prepare for. All right, so we're going to get out of here. I want to go risers and fallers. Peachy, I want you to give me a riser. We're going to go around the board. A player whose stock is going up. You can only pick one. And then we'll come back around and we'll do a player whose stock is going down. Risers or fallers. Ready? Let's go.
Let's see. A player's stock that is rising.
Yes.
It's got to be Womack.
Okay. Interesting, because I feel like they neck and neck. Like, he had a good game this game. He had a decent game last game. I thought Avery Thomas had a great game last game, minus that stupid penalty. Then he had a decent game this game. I feel like they so neck and neck. This is another good problem to have.
Exactly. It definitely is. I feel like just because of what you said, because Womack was okay last game, but he was really good this game. So as long as he's, going in, up, and I think that's gonna be good for him. But he was also like the best player to me that I saw out there last night.
Oh wow, that's huge on defense. Best player, I like that. Mose, stock up, riser.
Defense or offense?
Just got to pick one player. She went defense.
Oh, one player does offense or defense?
Yeah.
Yikes. I'll go to the offensive side of the ball. I'm a cheat since we need to get out of here. I'm gonna say Cameron Latu. I think with the way he played, the 3 catches that he made plus the touchdown, maybe that is able to spark something in him. We talked about, Trey Lance going through, the ups and downs, but kind of getting into a groove, getting into the rhythm. I think the first catch for Cameron Latu was kind of like his wake-up call, like, okay, I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Then he had the third down catch where he caught it on the sideline, was able to get up the field when Trey hit him. And then up the seam, make the catch for the touchdown, take the hit coming down to the ground, still holding on to the ball. So I think, for as much falling as he has been doing, I think, we said he's got a short time to prove if he should make this roster as a 3rd round pick. And I think with that performance, it's not over. It's not done. I think he has to follow that performance up with another solid, legitimate performance in that last preseason game.
Yes.
But I'm going to say Latu is slowly rising.
Yeah, and he's just got to continue to keep taking those steps forward, man. When they give you those targets, man, you got to, they're not asking you to get yacked. They're asking you to take the ball, secure the rock, boom. Because the one thing he doesn't struggle doing is getting open. It's more of an execution that he was struggling with. And the fact that now he's had this game, he can probably brush the dirt off his shoulders. That's a great pick, Mose and PG.
I like that pick.
We went with Womack and Latu. I'm going to give you a sleeper riser that nobody's talking about, and he actually scored the first touchdown for the 49ers, and his name is Jack freaking Coletto. And I don't know how they're going to find a way. Do you cut him? Now, here's what I liked about him. When he caught the pass for the touchdown, he told the defender to his face, you wasn't going to tackle me. And he hit him with the get out of my way, like the icky sticky step. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was dope.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he put the foot in the ground. I was like, nah, you thought the dude dove at him? Nah, you can go by me. I'm just going to walk in for this end zone. Listen, I don't know if he's going to make this roster because we got a juice, but he's another valuable piece because you could utilize him in different ways, fullback, tight end. He can even play emergency quarterback. Show this kid some love, man. I think that will be my sleeper riser, but I'm going to go with the shore riser. And I know a lot of people are not going to get this kid his flowers, but I think Jake Moody, I know he missed the extra point, but he went 3 for 3 for field goals. And I think now that he's starting to get a glimpse of this professional, the way it is a lot different than college. I think Jake Moody's stock is rising. Is it a competition with the kickers, him and Zane Gonzalez? Yeah, that's why Zane's still here. Perhaps that they try to trade Zane to Dallas for something. I don't know. They need a kicker. A couple of teams out there need a kicker. I think that the 49ers are going to definitely go with Jake Moody, and here's how I know his stock is rising. You ready? Trey Lance got the ball down to the daggone 4-yard line with 1minute and 9 seconds left. Kyle Shanahan's like, nah, we just go kick a field goal.
Yeah.
That means he put all of the faith and trust in a rookie. Now, I know a lot of people going to say he almost missed it, but he didn't because almost doesn't count. And it went in and we won. Some field goals. PG, when you talk about field goals, we were talking earlier about field goals. Are all field goals straight down the damn middle?
No, most of them aren't. I actually looked it up and I can't remember the percentage, but the higher percentages are almost that just barely make it through, regardless of where they are. And that goes from kicking an extra point to back to 60 yard field goals from those different distances. There's a bigger percentage of the ones that just don't, smoothly go through, that they veer right, they veer left,
As long as it goes in.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's still 3, regardless of,
I didn't mean
how
to
it
go
goes
off
in.
Perks thing, but I like the perk card. Perk, that's actually dope concept. The perk
Yes.
cards, yo. You
Love
got to get
perk
Perk
card.
on the show so he can give out perk cards.
That
Like,
works.
you know what I mean? Soul Certified says, dude is shook. Bro, his stock is not rising. Y'all want to touch on? I don't get shook. I get nerves.
I mean, I think that's what shook is a little bit. I do think he's not in the right frame of mind. I don't think he's the confident Jake Moody that we saw from college. I don't think that's where he is right now.
I don't think so either. I mean, he's a rookie.
I don't know if being a third rounder is the pressure. I don't know if being in the NFL is the pressure. I don't know if being on this team is the pressure because
maybe having another guy kicking with you, taking away reps is pressure.
It could be
There's
too.
so many different things that could be the pressure catalyst, right?
But here's one that's huge, Mo. Sorry to interrupt, but the wins. He's got to get used to the wins here. That's what they were talking about last night. That he has to get used to kicking in those. That takes time for any kicker.
It's not windy in Michigan sometimes.
It's a different type of wind.
Especially in the fall.
Yeah,
it's a different type of
they're saying that the wind's different, the way it blows or pulls or something like that. That all the kickers have had to get used to that.
But let's just remind everybody, he's a rookie.
Yeah.
So I don't give a what his position is. At the end of the day, he's still a rookie. Y'all don't expect rookie quarterbacks to come in here and lead the team to a damn championship.
That's right.
Well, maybe some of y'all do. But my point is, you got to give them time. Some of them do. You got to give them time to develop. Like, you got to give them time to get into this. They got to get acclimated. They got to miss some. They got to.
I honestly don't think Justin Tucker was Justin Tucker his rookie season.
No.
I can't remember most. I don't even
remember.
I don't even want to go on that tangent, but I just think of some of the rookie kickers that were drafted, like Tyler Bass. Like, these guys weren't money. Like, they was missing. Like, I don't even know if he's still in the NFL, but Rodrigo Blankenship and some of these kickers that actually got drafted with draft picks. Now, I know a lot of people are pissed we spent the third round pick on them, but at the end of the day, you got to give them time to get acclimated to the game, and this is preseason, so it doesn't even really count. Even though it counts, it doesn't count. It's just giving him reps. So let's just see what it looks like during the regular season. I tell you what, I don't know about you, but I want to score more touchdowns than field goals. So that, like, at the end of the day, that's what the Niners need to be focusing on.
I don't even want to be in that spot that much because anything can happen. You can get blocked. I mean, it could be anything. So you just don't want to. You want to try to stay away from those and not even put yourself in that position right there.
This chat, the family Peachy here is the greatest family of all time.
I had just looked that up too.
And I thank you for looking it up. But the fact that they're in here on point, listening to the shit that's coming out of our mouth, Justin Tucker started his NFL career going 4 for 8 on kicks. He was a 50% kicker in the preseason.
Yep.
We don't even get that many chances for our kicker to be 50%.
Nope.
All I'm saying is give the kid some time. He's a rookie. Now, the difference between Justin Tucker and Jake Moody, Justin Tucker went undrafted. So I know that's what it is. I know that's what they're going to say. So let's talk about some risers, man. Whose stock is falling? Ooh. We'll go with Mo's first, then Peachy.
Wow.
Stock falling?
Falling.
I have one.
Go ahead, Peachy, because I'm still trying to get mine.
Go ahead,
I think
Peachy.
Moore is falling.
Jalen Moore?
Yes.
I thought he played well. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. I don't know who gave up pressures or sacks yet. I don't have that information. All right. I like that. Peachy is, welcome to the show, y'all, because I wasn't expecting that name. After Trent Williams gave him a little bit of praise, but maybe he gave him a sack right after Trent Williams was like, yeah, man. We did give up 3 sacks. I will say this while Moses looking this up because Peachy put this out there. I thought that the offensive line overall, totality wise, played a much better game. I don't remember how many sacks they had the first game. It had to be over 5, but they only had 3 this game. So that's a little slight improve. All right, that's a little slight improve, or whatever. Mose, who you going with, bro?
This is tough because I think a lot of people playing well. Okay, I'm gonna go with a linebacker, and just for the simple fact that I think the rookies are playing better, and we already know who at least 2 of our starters are going to be. But I'm gonna go with DFF. You know, he did lead the team in tackles. He had 5 solos, 6 total. But all in all, the way DFF is playing and how he looks on the field, he doesn't look like somebody who's a seasoned veteran that has been in this defense for multiple seasons. And I think with the way Jalen Graham played, you know, not only having a green dot, but really helping call a good game and getting people, you know, in position to play well. And with the way D Winters is just all over the field, the kid is a menace. That's actually a good one too. Nick Sekell is awful.
That is a good one.
I don't think he makes this team.
Really good one. He shouldn't.
That is a really good one.
But John Feliciano didn't look good neither.
So like, and I don't know what we're doing. But I
don't know.
Feliciano, Sekell, Pryor, and Poe should not be on this team. But yeah, I'm gonna go DFF. But Nick Sekell is a great one.
Yes,
a great one.
Actually, I'd probably go with him more than Moore, actually, to think about it, because I was just going back thinking about that and like, oh, yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 penalties, 2 holding penalties.
Two consistent. Yes. He's been consistent both weeks being the weakest link.
Yes.
So
1,000%.
Now, if you had to pick one, you got to cut one and you keep one. Isaiah Oliver or Nick Sekell?
Keep Oliver, Sekell gone.
Yeah.
Even though Oliver just don't look good.
Sekell is
a more important
right?
position. Because if Sekell has to play because somebody else goes down, that means our quarterbacks are at risk.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
That's definitely, yep.
I could dig it.
Yeah. I think I'd rather go with Sekell, yeah.
I could dig it. All right, let's get through these super chats because I need food before I draft, or I will draft bad. All right, here we go. I need some energy. All right, Peachy, you're on call. Here we go.
Okay. Thank you, Sean, for super chat. Hargrave isn't good versus Run. I eat half my words about Trey. He could be number 2. When I watch Sam, I say damn or darn. Sorry, I can't do it.
It did rhyme though, PG.
Right. Why is it every year the same versus Russ, no matter who the DC is? I'm starting to not like Wilkes.
It's not Wilkes, Sean. It's just Russ. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. If Russ played this whole game, Denver probably would have won. As much as I love us, it's just the way it is. Russ doesn't lose to the 49ers.
Nope.
Check his record.
He just doesn't.
Check his record. He doesn't lose. Hargrave isn't good against the run, though. I want to digress a little bit on that. I don't know if he's not good against the run. I just feel like, again, when they're doubling him, they're taking him out of the run because there's no Nick Bosa. I think he would be more effective if you had Nick Bosa out there. So I want to see what it's like. I want to evaluate that when Nick Bosa's out there, when he's getting one-on-ones.
Yep, true. Another from Sean. The same thing from our DCs. No, every year from Victor Wilkes. Oh my God. Duh. How should we stop Russ? Duh. And send massive pressure. Let him run up the middle. Yeah, that's the plan. Duh. Never a spy. Never, for crying out loud.
They don't spy him, yo.
That's exactly what I was saying last night. I was watching him like, dang.
Like, they won't spy Russ because they're losing a player to coverage. And Russ might be. You know why they won't spy Russ? Because 9 times out of 10, Russ beats that player in one-on-one.
It makes him look stupid.
It really does.
Every single time.
That's why, Sean. 9 times out of 10, you spy him. Not only are you losing a guy in the coverage game if it's a pass, next thing you know, Russ one-on-one with the linebacker, I'm taking Russ all day. Like all day. Like no disrespect to Fred. It's just Russ. Russ knows what he's doing, and the linebacker doesn't know what he's doing. I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Christy Marie. I'm so proud of our guys. Brock was great, but man, Trey made the game so exciting. I'm so happy for Trey right now. Did you guys hear the standing ovation that Trey got whenever he hit the field?
That's what's up. Yeah.
That was fantastic.
See, not all the faithful are
Right.
are bad. You know,
Right.
the ones that were there. Shout out to all the faithful that went to the game. Shout out to, we had 2 winners that attended the game, and I hope you guys had a great time. You guys got a victory, so that should be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Look, Trey came in and he looked like he was about to be on fire. Then he throws the interception. Then he comes back more on fire. He was the man on fire.
Yeah, right. He definitely was. And then they also had people on fire in the stands fighting. So, that was fun.
Right.
49ers fighting.
I hope Brad is okay. Like, because I know Brad was sitting right there watching, but I hope he's good.
Dang. And then we got Barack Niner still #team party. I always forget what IMO is. But
In my opinion.
Oh, very good, in my opinion. But I'm fine if Trey plays every down this next week and week after. Let's get these reps. I saw the progression. #impressed.
That's all I want from us is to say that they saw the progression. And if you didn't see the progression, have no fear. We have plenty of shows this week where we're going to break down progression, right? We're going to show you how these players are upping themselves and their stock, all right? And so I'm glad you saw that. Listen, Brock Purdy is the starting quarterback. Let's never mind. That's the obvious.
Yeah,
we understand
he's
that.
QB1.
Yeah, he's QB1. He's going to start, and he looked great to me.
Yes, he did.
And everybody looked really good. Quick throws, quick reads.
Yes.
Bam. That's what we want, right?
Yes,
efficient.
absolutely.
But like you guys said, when Trey came in the game, you saw the same stuff. Pressure on the first play. Trey Lance was running. That's when he made that throw on the run, right? You saw that. Had some good runs by the running backs as well. Boy, I can't tell you when Christian McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell get back out there. Though. I love what TDP and Jordan Mason is doing, but they ain't it yet. Like they not it yet.
Oof.
Like they're not it yet.
Especially CMC. Oh, goodness. Nicholas says, "What up, nitty gritty fam?
Nick.
I thought you'd be prepping for fantasy draft tonight. Great game last night, especially for the confidence of Latu, Lance, and Moody. Sign Bosa to top it off. Go Niners."
Yeah. Nick is probably going to win this draft because we're all on this show, and he's
because I've done zero research on his.
I've done nothing. I don't even know the draft
how to operate
order.
Sleeper.
Oh, you just get in there once your draft order. It's the same way you operate the other stuff, but
okay.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. But Nick, man, thank you, bro.
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah,
Can't
I'm
wait
in here
to see you
now.
in Pitt.
I'm in here now, and the draft order isn't even posted yet.
Yeah, it won't get posted probably until about an hour before the draft, not till 10.
Sean says, every time you ring that bell, I think it's Hector.
Yes!
Breaking Bad. Yes.
That was my show.
Yeah.
I had to ring it again for Sean. What's up, Kanan?
Loved Breaking Bad. It was
Still
awesome.
mad how it ended, though.
Yeah.
Aaron!
First Take podcast. In other words, Aaron, you can poke holes in both the quarterbacks' games from Dink and Purdy to Trey Lance dominating soon-to-be plumbers and truck drivers. I choose to be positive.
Listen, we bigged them all up. We bigged up Sam Darnold, but we talked about where they kind of made their mistakes. Sam Darnold had a bad interception, which was another tip, pick, whatever. And look, this was more not really comparing the 3 quarterbacks, but more trying to big them all up. But since Trey Lance got all the slander last week, we needed to show everybody that this kid was progressing.
Yes.
And we'll show it more, especially tomorrow. When we get to watch the film. So.
Gotcha. I think that's it.
All right, that's it. Guys, what a great show. Like, what a great impromptu. We didn't get a chance to overreact. Now, listen, next Friday, we're going to be up late. And when I say late, just don't plan on going to bed on the East Coast because the game not until damn near 10:30. This is Peachy. This is your Lakers time when you be watching them games.
Sir, God. Yes,
Mhm.
Lord.
Man, this is when I watch the Lakers versus Celtics, and I go to sleep after the first quarter, and Peachy tell me who won the game at the end of the night. But nah, this is gonna be a late game. We got the Chargers coming into town, and so we will be up here looking like ghouls and goblins.
Yep.
But we're gonna bring you an overreaction show right after the game.
Don't be
We not
judging
waiting.
us because of what we look. We gonna have PJs and
If we win, you can judge all you want. If we lose, I'm coming back. I'm clapping back. I'm letting you know right now. We clapping back. Fear to God, we miss you, bro.
sir.
there.
I know you're excited. Football is back, man. 49er football is back, to be exact.
Yes,
you know, it's so good to be
absolutely.
here. But listen, guys, we'll see you guys tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to do our regular nitty-gritty talk. We'll break down the grades. We'll have our grades. We'll do some stuff. We'll try to get some film clips for you guys and go through some of the film. We'll figure out what we're going to focus on as far as tomorrow's show. But we'll be back tomorrow, man. Final thoughts, guys?
Love y'all. See y'all tomorrow.
There it is, Peachy.
I got to try to get some draft knowledge in here real quick, so I go ahead and start doing.
I just need to know where the hell
I'm.
I'm drafting. That's all I need to know. But guys, man, thank y'all so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. We had over 200 plus for this whole hour and a half. You guys are amazing, rocking with us on a day that we normally don't go live. Yes, I do. You never noticed that? Wait, why you telling my secrets, man? See? Shout out to John V.
Did you make a poll?
I did, Peachy.
Somebody just said, "Don't forget the poll."
Yo, who said that? Who said don't forget the poll? They deserve something.
Nigel Crane.
Nigel, you are the man. Like, you deserve. We got to take care of you because I clearly was hitting end broadcast. Who's the player of the game? Ronnie Bell, Trey Lance, Jake Moody. Other. Well, let me tell you this. Other got 3% of the votes. Jake Moody got 1% of the vote, and he kicked the game-winning field goal.
Wow.
This is one hating ass fan base. Bro.
Haters.
Wow.
That's so much hate.
But the winner was Ronnie Bell, 55%. It's like they don't even care he had an interception, tip, flip, deflected, pat. They don't care. They don't care about the fumble. We ain't mention the fumble. You know, I know we recovered it. Shout out to Fumugali.
That's how much they hate Trey.
Yo, speaking of Fumugali, is he tight end 3?
I was gonna mention him too as a riser. He was one of the people that I was considering. I think Fumagalli might make this roster, bro.
I think Fumugali's tight end 3. Listen, we'll talk more about it tomorrow on Nitty Gritty Niners Talk, guys.
I think the tight end room got a lot interesting over these past couple weeks. Because after Kittle, it's open. Ooh. I think after the first preseason game, maybe Dwelly solidified himself between Latu and Braden Willis. It looked like Willis, but Latu had a really good game. If he can kind of stack that, I think he's making it. Charlie Warner did a few good things, but Fumagalli looked like he's really kind of stepping in there. So, you know, it's wide open after Kittle. So it's going to be exciting to see.
It's all about blocking.
Who rounds out that group.
Interesting take.
He's a better blocker.
Interesting take. I see the little 2 tight end 3s out there. I see it. He caught 3 passes his whole career for his tight end 3. I got you though. I got you. Tight end 3. Say less. He need to keep stacking days. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in, man. We appreciate y'all. We out. Peace.